Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, your favorite leftist gaming channel. Today, we are deciding definitively for everybody else.
Yes.
Only our votes matter here. We are the
This is the Game
deciding
Awards.
jury.
This
Yeah,
is.
we are the deciding jury. We are voting on the Game Awards. We are posting our votes for the channel. So we're pooling all of our takes, and whoever gets the most votes takes home the award. And if on the rare instance where we all diverge completely, we have a handy D6 here, which we will convert to a D3.
I'd like to call out now that if the D6 keeps voting for Ben, that I'm calling collusion immediately.
I wish I had another camera set up that I could have like a dice cam so I could tell you that it's legit. Or do I pull up like D&D Beyond or something, or like a dice rolling app, and do we trust
You can
a
literally
digital
just
algorithm?
Google dice roller, and Google has a built-in dice roller.
Right, but I don't trust Google. I don't trust Google to do that.
It's just he trusts the dice that he can manipulate.
Convenient.
Notice how he's doing a D6 and not breaking it into true odds, making it D100 rolls. Split 33, 33, 33.
D6 will do it. Will do it for us. I'm already calling dibs. I'm 3 and 4, the statistical center. So that already my votes will be biased. Okay, are we ready to go? Like, as we were discussing just before starting, we got it. We're going to be jumping in right at the high end, right? The voting card has you start at Game of the Year. So are we ready? Do we have all of our takes locked in and ready to go?
I'm ready. I'm hot and ready.
Okay, so we've got the site up. As far as I can tell, it's working better now. The site was completely fucked for the first like 48 hours. I think they thought it was like a DDoS attack or something.
It was probably just getting botted.
I got temporarily banned at one point for
you were botting to vote for French games
for about 10 minutes, and then it fixed itself. But when I was logging in, Cloudflare was still being a little wonky. It didn't authorize it at first, but then refresh fixed it. But everything else seems to be loading better than when I was doing my personal voting. So that's why you guys also need to make sure you can go in and vote on your own accounts to try to cancel out my French bias.
I mean, I've got an entire Saudi bot network that's going to guarantee Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Okay, so Game of the Year, we've got everybody knows who's here. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Were there any snubs for you guys? Was there anything that didn't make this list that you were surprised, and what would you swap it for?
Blueprints.
Yeah.
And which would you swap
I think what happens a lot of the times is games that are really good that get released in the early quarter of the voting, so December to March, we've talked about them enough.
Hey, Kingdom Come was a February release.
Yeah, but I'm saying...
Was it? It was February?
It was a February release, yeah.
I thought that was
pretty sure Blueprints is a higher Metacritic than Death Stranding.
Oh, yeah, it's a higher Metacritic than Kingdom Come as well, yeah. And I think Donkey Kong. It was one of the highest rated games of the year. I think Hades is the only one I know is hot for sure is higher. It might be tied with Expedition 33.
I am absolutely Blueprints got snubbed here, and I'm taking out Death Stranding or Donkey Kong. Honestly, Donkey Kong, I wasn't impressed. I played the demo. I wasn't having that much fun. So I think I would put Blueprints there. Just on the pun of the name alone, that should be Game of the Year in my opinion.
People made the good, and it's based off of that title, right? Is what remind me of it. People were like, they can understand why it actually didn't get nominated is because there are no localizations. It's only in English. Part of that comes down to, it's a very, very small team, resources available, but then people are talking about how a lot of this stuff and some of these puzzles don't work in other languages. The title is a pun based on English language, right? So does it work? But it's the fact that the jury that picks these, but for folks, again, we're the real jury here. But the fake jury, they're international, right? So
that's one of the conspiracies around Kingdom Come is that there's a large European group who votes on this. And
the Czechs are out in force to artificially inflate what is one of the best RPGs of a generation,
which is also one of the lowest Metacritic scores on the 6.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's an
Kingdom
87.
Come and Death Stranding are in the high 80s.
I think it's 87 and 88 respectively.
Yeah. Both, interestingly enough, are polarizing titles, right? You know, that's why there is that kind of there were games that had variance in reviews. Like there were lots of high scores and then a decent chunk of low scores because of the people who it just does not connect with.
There was also some multiplayer crash out over Arc Raiders. People thinking Arc Raiders belong
Fuck
up here.
them. We don't care about
God.
them. I would probably have liked to see Blueprints or Split Fiction.
That's
Split
that
Fiction
was the other
doesn't
one.
get it because it's too closely derivative to their last Game of the Year winner.
But like you
And-
got Hades 2, like that. That's
That-
my other comment. Looking at this is just
So many sequels.
there's only
Yeah,
two
but the
games that
thing
are
is-
not sequels.
What happens with Split Fiction is that It Takes Two was so groundbreaking at the time for
And
what
beloved,
it did.
No,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I
And
think
then
that's
Split
fair. I
Fiction
think
comes
that's
around,
fair.
it's doing the exact same thing, and it doesn't hit the same
It's-
as when
it
It
doesn't-
Takes Two.
I would push back a little bit, but it equals out to the same thing. It does gameplay better than Split Fiction, but story worse. So it
Yeah.
comes out to the kind of evens out to it didn't like do enough. And I agree. You know, it's like again, I'm not surprised, and it would have been on like my low end of
Yeah.
this. It was also an earlier year release, so that makes sense. Okay, so what's each of our votes? We know what mine is. We know that I'm voting Clair Obscur.
All right, so I'm gonna be just upfront with it and give it to you, Ben. I'm gonna go Clair Obscur just purely off the fact that it's the only new thing here, and that is like, in my opinion, a better reason for it to win than anything else.
Disrespecting, Donkey Kong innovating.
Donkey Kong's
even-
still IP. It's
I know,
still an IP.
Yeah, it's not new IP. Yeah.
Oh, it's
All
just
right,
an
so-
IP that's essentially been dead and dormant for like nearly 20 years.
And resurrecting it to become a franchise tentpole for sure, or a company tentpole. So Matt, even though your vote doesn't matter, if folks voting, it doesn't matter. It never has. The decisions have been rigged beforehand by me, of course.
I was going to
So-
go the only game that I played, so Bonanza.
So Donkey Kong.
Fair.
Okay, fair enough. So I haven't played any of Hades 2 or Hollow Knight.
And you'll never play Hollow Knight because you're a filthy Metroidvania hater.
I probably won't ever play Hollow Knight. That's correct. I probably will dabble in Hades 2 at some point. That's the one that to me that I'm like actively rooting against because of, from everything I've read, doesn't do enough different. That it is exceptional. It is super
but
good.
Dionysus wears
It's
a banana
really good.
hammock and has
That's true. That's true.
Well,
That gives points from me. But that it's Hades 1. It's just more Hades, and Hades is a great game, and so that is not really a slight against it, but it's just the fact of if we're doing things new here, it doesn't hit that bar. Death Stranding 2, I'm about like just at past the 50% mark. I'm currently playing it right now. It's fine. I think it's
Is it
actually.
fun?
Gameplay is good, same level of good, if not slightly worse because it's easier than the original. As bonkers and weird and stupid as the first story ended up being executed, so far I'm finding this one to be worse. It's we don't need to get into that discussion now, but it's
Considering
fine.
how negative you were on that aspect of the first one,
I was negative on the first one
I mean,
because
he
of its
came into
execution.
this one with pre-built bias already.
My critique of the first one was purely on execution, that it was like really ambitious, could have been something really interesting and cool,
Okay.
but just completely undercut itself. And yeah, further discussion for later. But so Clair Obscur gets it. All right, best game direction. This is always a tough one. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction in design. This to me is like one of the most kind of amorphous categories, and this definition is not really helpful and still is really open for interpretation. So it's kind of vibes based, on what you think. Thoughts? Anybody?
yeah, this is the one I go back and forth with. Is this like supposed to be the equivalent of like cinematography, or is it like actually directing?
I've
I think
always
it-
interpreted this one as whichever, like, the best game director, whoever had the best vision
See,
and
I don't
execution.
Okay. I don't think it's helpful to think of it in terms of like the individual game director. You can think of it in terms of it's that second half of I think it's more about the vision that you're saying, Matt, for its design, and yes, its execution. And yes, there are, these gaming companies and developers are hierarchical in nature, that, directors and producers and the creative directors and stuff do have a lot of a top-down vision that they are executing. So, but it is bigger than that. Yeah. So can't really help anybody decide what this actually means for them. For me personally, that's all I can say is I focus on innovation. That's fair. That's as much as I can really kind of laser in on.
And that's going to
if you're really focusing on that, none of these, technically speaking, are like hyper innovative.
Split Fiction, Fiction has some strong, particularly that ending has some strong bits for its innovative vision in terms of what it's bringing. I know that it opens a whole can of worms to be like the thing that Clair Obscur does for its gameplay. How is it really innovative when Paper Mario has been doing like timed inputs and stuff for forever in turn-based combat? It was more about what was innovative is just the bringing the inspiration from other things. But this was a little more unique. I still like to give it to Clair Obscur, but I'm happy with Split Fiction. But so, Andrew, you say you vote for Split Fiction?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Split Fiction here. Like, I know it's not... It's still similar to what they were doing with their first game, which... Why am I...
It Takes Two?
It's not actually their first game. Their first game, but their previous game.
With the previous game, It Takes Two. But, that final sequence just... It made me feel wowed in terms of how they executed it and the experience of playing it in a very unique way for gaming at this point. I've seen so much that to feel that way about a game and how it's being done and what they're doing with it is pretty unique. So just on that alone, I'm giving my vote.
And it's something that's intimately tied to it being this split screen co-op experience, and how they're fucking with your brain with perspective was very cool to see. And it was how that built to that final, and to call it a segment almost undersells it. It's a long stretch at the end. This climax is pretty cool. So I'll hold off on my vote just in case. Matt, what are you saying?
So I know what's going to win this category, and that's Death Stranding 2, so that they can put Kojima up on the stage. Like, you can search in your heart. You know it's true.
Jeff is going to put this finger on the scale. If he's going to put the finger on the scale for any of them, it's going to be. But that's the thing, right? Is like this argument for Kojima to win that for the original one makes a lot of sense. This was truly innovative. Whether you say it's good or bad, you cannot deny that it was new. But there's not really much in that regard to. It's a cleaner experience. There's not much more innovating that's been done between 1 and 2. So I think this gets docked because it's now been done. The Strand type game exists. But yeah, so Matt, are you voting for Death Stranding 2?
Yeah, just because I think that's what's going to win.
Okay, so I would vote. Probably my preference to Clair Obscur, but I won't force the dice roll. I'll give it to Split Fiction because I think it has a very, very strong case. I'm happy voting for that. If I had to do ranked choice, that's what I would do.
Again, I wish I didn't realize how much of this year was dominated by sequels, and like they're good, well made, great games. I'm not saying anything different.
In my opinion, better sequels than remakes.
Yeah. I think that's probably true.
But yeah, obviously new IP should be better. Okay, best narrative. Clair Obscur, Death Stranding, Yote, Kingdom Come, and Silent Hill F. Kind of like to see that sneak in there. I'm not going to vote for it, but I like to see something else break out of. We're going to see these games a lot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because what did Sony have? 19 nominations. Claire had I think it was 12, but technically it's only 10 because 3 of them came in the same category.
Your thing for Sony is not accurate. Claire had the most nominations in
Sony between Death Stranding
awards
and
history.
Yote had more than it was 19.
That's being pedantic.
Sony
that's literally what the articles point out.
I'm voting for Death Stranding 2 here because I don't think Ghost of Yotei deserves a Best Narrative award, and I think that's a funny vote. Just to give it to Death Stranding.
I hate you. I hate you. My vote is, and I have not played this one, but I have played all of these now. My ranked goes Claire, Kingdom Come, Yotei, Death Stranding 2. Matt.
I'm gonna just give it to Silent Hill F because I think that's funny.
Okay, so first roll of the die. So like I said, we'll give Matt 1 and 2. I'll be 3 and...
You should split them up. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So Matt's 1 and 4. I'll be...
You just...
So
it's
what?
just 1, 2, 3 twice.
2
4,
and
5,
5.
6 now become
2 and
1,
2
2,
and
3.
5. 2 and 5 and
3 and 6.
Andrew is 3 and 6.
Yeah.
That's how you statistically break it up to be more balanced.
All right, so it was 4. So Matt wins with Silent Hill
Cool.
F.
I kind of hope Silent Hill F actually does win the award. I want to play it. It's been, well regarded from a narrative perspective. So
everything I've seen is like the narrative is really good, combat sucks, and the only thing about the narrative that sucks is that you have to play it multiple times to see the whole narrative, and which means doing the combat like 5 times. Yeah. Which people are like, that sucks.
Konami's on a whole Silent Hill renaissance right now.
Best art direction. The only one here that I don't like, and Ghost of Yotei is a little bit different, but is close, is Death Stranding 2. Because there is a difference between graphical fidelity and art direction. I do not think that this has anything close to good art direction. This is like one of the most, graphically intense and highest fidelity games you've ever seen. But that does not make good art direction. Yotei is close to that, but is more stylized. And the environment does have a more, sense of artistry to it. But so I would put these at the bottom end. I think any 3 of these are, good choices.
I mean, this one you gotta vote. You gotta vote with your head in Hades 2, right?
Which head is he talking about?
Hey, you could decide that one. But yeah, I gotta give it to Hades 2.
Okay.
I was gonna say there's 2 here that are clearly above the rest between Hades and I think Claire is slightly above Silksong. I do think Silksong has a very strong art direction.
I do too.
Yeah.
They do a very good job of building off of the Hollow Knight, the atmosphere that they go for, especially with the way the sprites work. I think Hades 2 probably has to get the nomination just for the way the art is presented.
Everybody's too sexy. It's let's be real. My vote is for Expedition 33. I think it is one of the incredibly visually striking games and very, very weird in a lot of these ways. But yeah, again, I'm happy with any of these 3. So Hades 2 gets it for the group. I think that's totally fair. But everybody's just too sexy. They're too damn hot.
It was a clip I saw of Parky playing it, and she got to Dionysus and just kind of respectfully looked.
The neuron activation, monkey neuron activation. Yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen that clip as well. Okay, best score in music. This is one where I'll riot if it doesn't win. But from what I've heard of Hades 2, it does seem to me like, again, too similar to the first one. At least the theme is essentially the same. Everybody loves the Hollow Knight one, but
that's my vote right there. The Silksong soundtrack is phenomenal.
This is there is 8 hours of banger after banger on Clair Obscur.
Yeah, but Clair Obscur doesn't have a bug banging a little bell.
I never found that song to be remotely interesting. Feel free to come at me at in the comments. Sherma, I think, is the bug character's name who bangs the bell. Don't care, but I loved the shamisen and the music and the kind of Western infused elements of the music for Yotei. What's it called? Original songs for Death Stranding have been pretty good. I like those, a lot of those. One of its best elements, it can really set an emotional tone with its music, but nothing compares for me to Expedition 33, and is, I think, the best of the year. But Andrew.
Yeah, I'm going to give my vote to Yotei just to leave it up to the dice again.
Okay.
I do love the shamisen. It does give it a great Western vibe that I have enjoyed throughout my entire gameplay.
Okay, who is 6? You?
Yeah.
You, Andrew?
Yes.
All right. My finger wants to just go.
Don't do it.
Just gotta grab the hand. Not true. The Patriots have lost control. The real Francophiles have lost control.
That was one of the ones that I'd wished Mario Kart World got a nomination for.
Yeah, everybody was talking
Mario
about that
Kart
got
World
snubbed.
has a fucking phenomenal soundtrack and does such a good job of rebuilding so many classic songs.
That was what most people talked about, was the kind of remixing of a lot of classic tracks. I've heard the one pushback I've heard against it was like, but the main theme doesn't hit as hard as 8 Deluxe does. Audio design. This is another one that's a little tricky, and I can understand why people are upset that Arc Raiders didn't get a nomination for this. It's the whole AI text-to-speech voice acting element of it is far too taboo to have people put it in this category, even though I don't really want to give it to Battlefield 6, but and I don't really know much about it, but audio design is, so much more important in multiplayer games, particularly competitive multiplayer games.
I was going to say the 2 games up here that I know people rave about the audio on are Battlefield 6 and Silent Hill.
I was going to say it's multiplayer in horror games where it's usually the most important. And it's I don't know how I feel about these two in terms of those kind of sound elements. I don't think really feel right. There's some elements to GotY that are kind of interesting in the slightly interactive bits, making the scraping the flint stone to make the fire and stuff, feels really true to life, but they're just kind of little things that are sprinkled in.
This category is always defined by games that you should play with headphones on to get the full wrap-around immersion feel. I feel like Battlefield and Silent Hill are the 2 that would take the most advantage of that 360 degree.
Yeah. Can
I hear the footsteps coming from the second floor?
Yeah, so that works with both. Is there a big ghouly monster trying to come kill you, or is the 12-year-old sweat gonna come up and... Did you say slur user?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just to say, it's sneak up behind you and call you a slur. I'm gonna give it to Silent Hill F.
Yes, same.
Just to diversify, I'll give it to Battlefield, just because I think Battlefield did something this year that has been sorely missed for the franchise for probably close to a decade at this point.
They're beating COD, right?
Yeah, by a wide margin. Well, the first month sales of Battlefield were almost four or five the times the amount for Call of Duty to this point.
Best performance. I love to see Charlie
this
Cox
is the
here,
one where Claire Obscure has multiple people for the same.
I would swap Charlie Cox for... Oh my god, I'm hitting myself. Why am I blanking on his name? The goat himself.
Monster?
No, Andy Serkis
for the voice actor of Donkey Kong.
I do like Banana, but Andy Serkis got snubbed here. Interesting to see Troy Baker get nominated for Indiana Jones, and people were saying oh, he should have also been nominated against himself as Higgs from DS2.
Yeah, I've seen the argument that his nomination should have just been Death Stranding 2. But Indiana Jones probably needed something at the Game Awards.
Well, it's got Best Adventure Game, as we'll get to.
Troy Baker is who I'm gonna give my vote to, actually, because I just to voice such an iconic character and have me just not even think about it once while playing the game is really impressive. I was just genuinely impressed by his Harrison Ford Indiana Jones impression. I think he did a great job with it, and of the actors on here, I think that I experienced.
I don't like to necessarily give the award to it's best impression, right?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But to be pedantic, they're all doing impressions of what they think the character should sound like.
Yes, but he's doing the impression of somebody else playing a character, right? So it's a further degree. He's a dude disguised as another dude playing another dude, so he's doing the thing. So
without the racism, though, at least.
Yeah, so my top two are obviously Ben Starr and Jennifer English. In my personal one, I gave it to Ben Starr just to give him the ups from not getting it for Clive, even though I think Neil Dubon was deserving for Astarion 2 years ago, but that was my pick. But Jennifer English was really,
This
and I'd
is
like
Ben
to see
Starr
her win too.
Podcast. We are. Fans
I have a
of Ben
vote
Starr.
that would make people angry in Erica because everyone hates her apparently.
I just thought the portrayal was fine.
Fine.
I just didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was.
My
I didn't think it
actual
was
vote
particularly
goes
good
to-
or bad.
Actual vote goes to the Silent Hill F actress.
But not Tsukato.
Yeah, it's too far away for me to be able to see that.
I think, say back just to Erika Ishii, I think just like that she was fine to good, but was kind of outclassed by some of her co-stars, like particularly the two main companions. I think were much
I
better.
just remember
particularly the
meltdown
brother.
when she was announced, and people were like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, she's got a shaved side of her head."
She's gay and Antifa. She's a gay Antifa super soldier. And then all the reactionaries who are like, praising Claire Obscure as like, the return to purity for gaming. And then when Jennifer English won at the Golden Joysticks, and she's a gay woman and who cited her trauma of coming out and embracing her queerness as informing her role for this one, and then it's funny to see them do a complete 180. So,
Oh my god, amazing.
So I'm gonna vote for Jennifer English for this one to even my votes out. Yeah, we
have
these
three.
All right, come on, I gotta win one. What was I, 2 and 5?
Yes.
Ah, 5. Let's go, suckers.
Audit the
Absolutely.
dice.
It's the first one that I've won. Fuck off. And
It
she
was the
deserves
first one that you were really, really pushing for too.
No, I'm sure someone from Claire Obscure is gonna win this.
Yeah, they've got
I think
three
it's-
of the
I think it's-
nominations.
I think it's all but guaranteed that it's one of
Could be
them.
Ben
Like,
Starr.
I hope it's Ben Starr.
I would honestly be like, again, no shame to Charlie Cox, and I think he did a good job, and he's been really kind of sweet on press things. He's been very humble about it. Like his quote is like, "I feel like a fraud that people like are praising me for this, but like I was in the booth for like half a day and
yeah.
forgot about it after the fact, because he's not a gamer and any of that he's just, but then always heaped a lot of praise on the other actors. Been cool to see that he gives a lot of praise to the original French mocap artist who played the character, so that's cool to see. But like, I would feel weird about it because I feel there's going to be a tendency to want to give it to him to add Hollywood star power to the show, but then they're like going to give it to him, and he's not
even
going to
gonna fucking
be
be there.
there. He's not even going to be there.
He's not gonna be there.
Which would be more
Okay.
embarrassing for Jeff to announce a winner and have him be like, "Hello, is he not?"
Accepting on his behalf is Ben Starr dressed as something silly. Okay, but yeah.
Hideo
Jennifer
Kojima
English.
is here to accept his award for him.
Okay. Innovation and accessibility. I think the only nomination for Assassin's Creed Shadows, or maybe they were in Action Game. I don't know. We'll see. I forget. So AC Shadows, Atom Fall, Doom: The Dark Ages, EA Sports FC 26, and South of Midnight. I don't remember. Last year was an
I
easy
didn't play
choice
any
for
of
me.
these games, so I have no recollection of what
Me
makes
neither.
them innovative in accessibility.
Everything I've seen is that Doom: The Dark Ages has really granular level difficulty options, like that you can really kind of hyper build your own experience. Again, I'm hearing that secondhand, so yeah.
It makes me not want to vote for it.
Why?
Because games should only have one difficulty. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Cause get good.
But yeah, like I remember, like one of the best examples of it was like a clear kind of thing you could kind of pin it on was for Prince of Persia, the Prince of Persia game, the Lost Crown game.
The one that they basically don't want to talk about.
They don't want to talk about that game anymore, but they won, and it was like they like allowed you to like take these like pictures to be able to pin on your map. It being a Metroidvania, it was just making what is, I know for myself, has always been a huge sticking point of why I bounce off of Metroidvanias. is seeing somewhere you can't go and then forgetting about it and feeling like just having this kind of feeling hanging over your head the whole time, being like, I know there's something I'm forgetting, but I can't remember what it is, and I feel like I'm missing large chunks of the game, and what about a key upgrade or something? But that just kind of helped streamline that. Yeah. So that was a clear pick for me in that year. But I don't remember anybody talking about anything specific about
the only thing
about these.
I'm going to vote for
Midnight
EA
made the
Sports
Chuds
Football
mad,
Club
right?
just because it's funny.
I appreciate that. Andrew, what were you saying?
South of Midnight made the Chuds mad, didn't?
Yeah, because it's a black woman, so of course.
Yeah, there we go. Winner.
Okay, I'm voting for Doom again. So another dice roll here. Let's see.
It's truly a dice roll.
That's another 5. I don't care. I feel, and if anything, I want to fudge that one. I want to fudge that one the other way so that the dice gods will give me one that I actually care about.
Like, no, bad dice.
Games for
I thought
impact.
they got rid of this stupid award.
I don't think it's a stupid award. I think it's just, again, one that's like framed really weird.
I think it's
that's
an
why I
award
think it's
that
stupid.
struggles because if you don't have enough games that qualify for it, it just starts to dilute what it means.
And really, like, for a good portion of them, it's like just like good indie games. And, you know, these are games that like should have been nominated
Indie
in
games
like
that make me
indie
feel
categories.
something.
Yeah. The only one that I've actually played is Despelote.
Games with an alphabet character.
Cancel him for that one, folks. I've played Despelote. I want to play Consume Me, and I think I'm going to start playing
Consume Me is about
soon.
like eating disorders.
Yeah, and it's like a life sim, eating disorder. It's a little bit broader than that, but that's kind of like the hook, yeah. I think the appropriate term is disordered eating.
Oh,
but
we've moved past the term that I learned.
But this is basically, she's not a true solo dev. She is. I know she has other team members, but she's like been like a personal project for the main dev for like 10 years. And it's been a big project, and it's been received really, really well. It's one that I really want to play, and I think I'm gonna load it up on the Steam Deck and play it as like a nighttime game when I'm done reading what I'm reading. So I hope to get this done before the end of the year. But Despelote was interesting. I think it didn't hit for me because I thought it was good, but it didn't quite hit for me because...
You're not an Ecuadorian footy fan?
Yes, but I think you would actually... The bigger thing would be if I was like a fluent Spanish speaker, not necessarily as like a primary language, but if I could, you know, through audio understand like the random bits of Spanish that you hear as you're kind of going through, because it's meant to be just like this slice of life thing, as, you know, Ecuador is going through kind of like political and economic turmoil, but while qualifying for the World Cup for the first time in their history. So it's like following the kid and through these kind of spaces. And it's meant to be kind of
your first lesson. Puedo ir al baño, por favor.
Yeah. But that slice of life bit didn't fully hit for me because I think a lot of it is meant to be ambient. It's just like you're running, you're a little kid and you're running, chasing after your friends, kicking a football, and you are hearing adults maybe say things just as you run by. But obviously, as not speaking Spanish, or, you know, having very, very low level Spanish comprehension, you know, that just kind of washes over me and I don't get any of that. So a Spanish speaker, I think, would get a lot out of this. And that impact that this is going for, the message of its game, would be much better for Spanish speakers. So didn't work for me. I still thought it was very interesting, a unique kind of art style. But my vote is for Consume Me. I don't know what you guys think.
Not play one of these games, but I'll go with Consume Me. It sounds interesting.
I'll throw a vote to South of Midnight just because.
There we go.
Got to give Microsoft something. I do think Consume Me is going to win. So this will be one of our first categories that we skim over and potentially I cut from the whole thing, which I forgot to say at the beginning. So maybe this bit stays in as I explain. Maybe not every category is going to make it into the final cut of this video because we don't really care.
Yeah.
Helldivers for me, I guess.
Easy. It's a shame. Night Rain's not on there.
Well,
but I don't even think
it just came out. It can't be best ongoing.
Fair.
Matt, did you have a different pick?
I was just going to say No Man's Sky, because No Man's Sky continues to just pump out updates.
Best community support, again, also don't really care. sure, it's good things, but like it does bother me that Baldur's Gate is still on there year after year after year because I'm also like
they're just farming it. They're just farming it at this point.
But I'm just like, let that game exist. I don't like that they kept changing certain things, like certain character interactions, making Lae'zel nicer. It's like, no, let her be a bitch.
Yeah.
You know, that's what makes her character good. So I mean, like, stop updating this.
Yeah, I don't like that. I agree with you.
It's also fun to see Final Fantasy XIV get in here after probably one of its like worst years as an MMO.
And also its community being incredibly toxic and transphobic against one of its main actors and characters. Nice. So, do we do Helldivers or do we give it to Forklift for the?
I mean, Fortnite's going to win.
For this, I don't know. Baldur's Gate has one in the past.
Yeah, but Fortnite's made The Simpsons.
Let's do Fortnite for The Simpsons.
For The Simpsons.
Okay, now we're back to a real category here. And I know Matt and I are going to have differing opinions, although I'm a little more fluid, I think. That I know there's a lot of hubbub on should Expedition 33 be considered an independent game.
More of an indie game than Dave the Diver, but that's not really a bar to...
There you go. That is true and perhaps one of the better stances to take. I was expecting a little bit more pushback, but
no, but like Dave the Diver's not an indie game, so like
no, not at all. Yeah, not at all. But
it's like for best debut, what was the game that got dropped out? Because the guy was like, I've made games before just under a different name. Like,
yeah, that's like
John Dave
the
Diver devs should have been like, hey, we're definitely not an indie studio. We're definitely funded by a.
Were they like NetEase or Crafton? I forget which one. Yeah. But like people are like, oh, Expedition 33 doesn't count because it has a publisher, and I'm like, dude, all of these have publishers. And people are like, but also it's like people are like, yeah, you have to self-publish to be an indie game. Yes, this is like picked up by Kepler.
Hollow Knight's self-published.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we all consider Devolver Digital games to be indie games. But they are an established publisher. Does any game that gets picked up and published by Devolver Digital no longer considered an indie game? Like, what the fuck? You know? I think to make this category more defined, it's like you have to have multiple criteria. You have to set like a budget limit.
Studio
size. And fuck, I had a third one and I should have written it down.
That's one of those weird nebulous ones for Expedition 33 where people will quote that it was like a 30-person studio and then not reference their like the 80 QA people that worked with them. Or
I mean, but plenty of games, including independent games, are allowed to use outsourcing. You know, that's fine. You know, those are real developers, but you know, that's how modern game dev gets done. Even independent games.
Not true. Square Enix is about to AI that QA part.
That's true. But like solo devs will even outsource things, you know? Like this is a solo project, but they're not an artist, you know? So they need someone to do the art, you know? That can be considered outsourcing. So many of those arguments don't hold any water to me. I just think we need to set it all aside. You need to set up like a firm set of a checklist criteria that you must meet.
Yeah, but the more firm you make the rules, the less they can fudge to get certain games in, like Dave the Diver.
Well, that shouldn't have been there. Okay, so who wins here? Best independent game?
I mean, obviously Clair Obscur is going to win. I think Blueprints probably should win.
Yeah, Blueprints would be my vote.
Ball Pit was funny.
People loved Ball Pit.
People call it Ball X Pit because they don't watch anime.
Yeah. So they real Hunter heads know what's up. Yeah, so
I would vote
obviously,
Blueprints.
Yeah, so obviously I voted for Clair Obscur because I love that game.
And I just think Blueprints got kind of dicked on not getting at least a nomination for best game overall.
Okay, best debut. Now only 4.
There was an interesting discussion I was listening to about this when the game got dropped off, Megabonk. That they're like, well, should another game be allowed in? It's like, cool. So now you're acknowledging that they were the 6th place game, and now they're coming in.
Yeah.
And then if they win, what does that mean?
Yeah, I think it's best to keep it just like this. I do think that you avoid that. My vote is Dispatch. I voted for Dispatch. I needed to give something to Dispatch.
Yeah, that would be my vote too.
But then this is another one that people are like, does this count? Because, you know, can you consider it a debut? Because the core team, the two guys that started it, they were ex Ubisoft devs. These were ex Telltale devs. But these, outfits are completely new, and it is the studios. It said by a new independent. But here's what it says: by a new independent studio, and those two are independent studios with talent from experienced developers, but plenty of newcomers as well.
And how are we to expect that a top class video game is going to be made by a full team of people that have never worked within the video game industry at all anywhere?
It has happened before.
Sure, but that would be a little rigid of a definition.
The Blueprints dev. This is his thing. He was in film. He was in film before. I read
Blueprints,
a profile on.
I believe the original Hollow Knight team had no prior experience.
I want to rewind just a quick bit. My one snub from best indie game though is Citizen Sleeper 2.
Fair, yeah, that is probably a snub there.
Wouldn't fit in debut anymore, obviously, but
it's got a 2 next to it.
Is that on Switch?
It should be. I played it on Steam, but it should be.
I'm gonna get
it's
that.
so good. I love both of those games. So my vote's for Dispatch. Andrew, did you say you were?
Yeah, I was voting.
You're voting Dispatch as well.
Yeah, I've been very much enjoying Dispatch.
Were you doing Blueprints?
Yep.
All right, but Dispatch gets it. Again, got to give something to Dispatch. That one was weird why it didn't get as many nominations is because of when the deadline for voting came in. The game wasn't fully out yet.
Can't have an incomplete game.
Yeah, game wasn't fully released. That sucks.
In the best VR category where Deadpool VR got nomination before being fully released. Because they released...
Best mobile game. I was thinking of skipping this one, but we're putting it in to give Uma Musume Pretty Derby the respect it deserves. But yeah, we got Destiny Rising, Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Uma Musume Pretty Derby, and Withering Waves. It's gonna be Uma Musume.
Yeah, for sure. It has to be the horse racing.
It's gonna be Uma Musume. Matt, any dissenting opinion, or do we give it to the anime horse girls?
I've seen a lot of footage of people dressed up as horse girls going to horse tracks and doing horse betting,
which is good. Which is good. This game single-handedly reinvigorated the Japanese horse racing scene because there was a bunch of cosplayers went, and then a bunch of sad, lonely men went to go see the cosplayers, and then ended up betting.
Hell yeah!
And losing their money. So,
and now it's actually a racket to reinvigorate horse racing.
To gambling. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it gets the vote. It absolutely gets the vote.
How could you not?
Best action game, another real one coming in. This is a decently contentious category, I think. I think Hades 2 and Ninja Gaiden are going to be...
because it's too broad, if you can include the combo of Battlefield 6 and Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. Those are very different.
Because they clearly won't have a category that's just best shooter.
Yeah.
But
to me, it's like one of these is not like the other. It's Battlefield. I mean, Doom is kind of on that edge, right? But I get it.
I think the argument is I've heard someone describe it as is your game 75+% combat and action? And if it's under 75%, then you become action adventure.
These three are all supposed to be very, very interesting. Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Although I've heard a little bit more mixed things. It's, again, a little kind of split. Some really love it. Some are like, meh, it's okay. But...
Well, I think a similar thing has happened the farther out we've gotten from Ninja Gaiden 4, where it's not the pure Ninja Gaiden experience that old heads wanted, but it's,
But it is, I think, of all this list, it is the most, pure action game. It is, the purest distillation of what an action game is.
I'm cool with giving Ninja Gaiden 4.
I voted for Hades 2, and I think Hades 2 is going to win.
That's where I was going to vote.
I'm happy to give it to Ninja Gaiden, though. Because, again, I do think this is an action roguelike. Yeah, it's a little bit more diluted. Whereas this is just an action game. That's what this is, in its kind of purest form. Now we have action adventure. The best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving.
That's good.
It is very interesting how these... We've talked about it for the longest time, right? That, genre, splitting hairs over genre is a losing battle and really kind of sucks. And to me, when I look at these, the only one that screams action adventure to me is Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But pushing the definition, yeah, you could make your case for each other's. But like Split Fiction does not seem right to me.
No, I would say Split Fiction's an action game.
It's a platformer, basically.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, platformer is probably better. Yeah, probably a better description.
Matt died.
Oh no. I kind of like looking at these for best action adventure. Like Indiana Jones, is kind of where I want to vote. It's that or Yote for me, based on the category.
I think it's probably gonna end up being Hollow Knight.
That'll be the winner, I think.
And that's probably what Matt would vote for, I would assume. But yeah, I'm gonna vote for Indiana Jones because in terms of like, adventure, and it has plenty of action. It really is. It straddles more the line of adventure versus action.
Yeah.
And the adventure is much better than the action.
Yes. And the like even the this what is describing this category calls out puzzle solving. And of these games, I think that has by far the most in best puzzles because the puzzles are actually fairly enjoyable. I wasn't annoyed by them.
They hit a good balance of had to think about it for a second, but not getting stumped.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Indiana Jones gets it. Best RPG.
Avowed, obviously.
I do love that people consider Monster Hunter in general to be an RPG series. I never quite understood it. So the design of I guess it's the player character customization and including the massive multiplayer experience. So it's game design with rich player characterization, customization, and progression and multiplayer experiences. Then yes, that Monster Hunter checks those boxes. It's just like, to me, it just doesn't feel like an RPG. It does check those technical boxes, so I guess I can't complain about it. This is one where I haven't played about it.
Is there a story or even role playing?
There is a story. It is very bad, and it usually is very bad. This one was better than most, but still pretty bad. But I played all these games, except for Avowed. I played these 4.
I mean, I know what your vote is. Actually, I don't. Are you gonna do KC? Did you do KCD too?
I voted Claire on my own personal one, but as I've thought about it more, I think Kingdom Come deserves it more. Because this is my preferred game. This is a great game, and it's more about the differences between a JRPG and a Western RPG. And this does fit into the mold. You are building out your characters in terms of their loadout, in a sense, equipment, and you're progressing those things, and you're making some decisions on skills and stat allocation, and the unique thing with Claire is the Pictos things that further granulizes builds. Right. But Henry is truly a lump of clay that you shape into your own kind of sculpture, right? It is truly I think a little bit more distilled in that way. I keep using that word, but I actually loved all 3 of these games. Outer Worlds 2, go check out our last episode of the podcast, very middle of the road for me. I actually really loved all 3 of these. Despite there's a lot of problems with Monster Hunter Wilds, I still really loved my time with it. But these are my 1 and 2 of the year.
Oh, really? Kingdom Come? That's number 2 for you for the year?
Is my number 2. Dispatch might be number 3.
Let's go. I'm willing to give it to Kingdom Come because that's part of why I have not played that game. Is the RPG elements of it are just too much for me.
There's so many systems at play.
Too many things.
You think that's true, but it ends up becoming a little bit more manageable. You get into a routine of, I'm going to go out on, or I just came back from a quest. Let me clean my clothes and repair my weapons and make sure I have enough armor and weapon repair kits so if I can repair them on the road. And clean my room, make my bed, forge a new sword, make some potions.
Keys to it.
You feel that way at start. I know I was intimidated when I went into it, but it ended up not being that bad.
Okay.
But there is a lot of systems, and if you could get a handle on the combat, I think you could end up really enjoying it. It's probably just too long for you. That's your biggest thing. Whereas I think Clair Obscur, you can play did every single bit of content and got the platinum in about 60, slightly under 60 hours.
I can manage
but you don't have to do all of that.
Right.
And core story you could do in well within like a 35 hour. This is like minimum 80 hours basically.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize it was.
To just not get your shit kicked in, you really got to engage with side stuff.
Makes sense.
And you feel the desire to. So it's, this is like on an average, most people are going to spend 90 to 100 hours at that's the usual. If you're a God gamer, sure, you could probably speed run it pretty quickly, much quicker than that, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it. But so
Kingdom
Come 2 gets it.
I like
did he text? No, he did. Did Matt just leave out of rebellion or his internet crash again?
I'm guessing his internet probably crashed.
Best fighting game. People were been talking about how it's been a bit of a dearth of fighting games this year because at least say these two are. So this is like one of the like kind of the museum collections. It's like it's like some of the original games. This is obviously a re-release of older stuff, so only kind of semi-new stuff here.
Honestly, I don't know any of these games outside of the two you just mentioned.
This one's by it's a League of Legends fighting game.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've heard of Virtua Fighter 5. I've never played any of the Virtua Fighter games.
The only Virtua Fighter I've played is in the Yakuza games. Because it's RGG. RGG made the Virtua Fighter games. I voted for Capcom Fighting Collection.
All right, let's give the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection a vote.
All right, so we're gonna roll a dice here.
Yeah.
I'll do lows, you do highs.
That
sounds fair enough. I didn't grab a D4.
That's fine.
All right, highs take it. Like people do not like this one. This one's gonna get us called out for. Okay, Jeff Kojima is coming back in. Maybe he can save us here.
My fucking internet just completely shit the bed.
We figured. We can back up a little bit to see if you had any opinions on some of the core ones you mixed. The only important ones were you left during action.
Best action adventure was where I dropped out.
Okay, so we went Indiana Jones.
I think Silk Song would be my vote, just because it's so purely built around traversal and combat.
Yeah, but we gave it to Indiana Jones because it's because it's the other part of it. It is the best and most involved with the puzzle aspect that they list. So both of us voted for Indiana Jones, so that still stays. And then best RPG for us was between we both voted for Kingdom Come, but the things here: Avowed, Claire, Obscure, Kingdom Come, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Outer Worlds 2.
I'd probably vote for Kingdom Come. Monster Hunter Wilds doesn't belong there.
We were having this discussion. Technically does. Technically.
Oh, it's got a character creator.
No, it technically checks every single box that's listed here. Rich player character customization and progression, and massively multiplayer experiences. It checks all of those boxes. And it checks that third box unlike any of these others. But it still just doesn't feel right.
Did you play
massively multiplayer experience is really talking to MMOs.
Yeah, I know it is, but this is the closest of these that has. This is the only one that has a multiplayer experience, and it is a crucial part of how it's kind of meant to be played.
I also
play Avowed, Matt?
No.
Matt no. It was an Xbox exclusive and PC, but
I mean, I didn't play any of these games.
Yeah, so you give it to
probably
to Kingdom Come. And then fighting game, save us from having the dice was having us roll for Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, which people did not love.
It's Capcom would be my vote.
Hell yeah, saved by Matt.
Yep.
That was my vote too. Best family game. This should really always just be best Nintendo game, but it kind of sucks to see Split Fiction kind of ported into there. It almost feels like a diss to Split Fiction. But
I had someone make the argument that best family can also quantify as best game I could sit down and play with my spouse.
I mean, Split Fiction's rated teen too.
Are teenagers not family?
Yeah, we gotta try. We gotta try
family.
We gotta try Lego Party. It's supposed to be really good.
What is Lego Party?
It's basically
Mario
Mario
It's Mario
Party.
Party. It's Mario Party, but with Legos, and it's supposed to be better than any of the latest entries of Mario Party.
As long as that fucking long-snouted whore isn't a playable character.
She is not. But But I think we all know who's going to win.
Yeah,
the only one
Donkey
that was on the game of the year list, so it's going to win.
That's going to win. I would vote for Mario Kart World because I think that's the best family game on here, just because it's the one that you can actually play as a family. Yeah,
you can play co-op with Bonanza, and I did it with my nephew, and it was
people. With Mario Kart World, I could get up to 4 per Switch, and I could have like fucking 32 people lobbies.
Say these 3 games, Sonic Racing, Mario Kart, and Lego Party are the only ones where you can do more than 2.
I think by necessity it should go to one of those, but it's definitely going to go to Don.
But what do you want to vote for?
Mario Kart World.
Okay.
I could do the funniest thing right now.
And do Sonic?
No, I would. Would I ever vote for a Sonic game?
That's what I thought. That's why it would have been funny to me.
No, the funny thing to me would be if I put my vote on Mario Kart World and had to make Ben click vote Mario Kart World, so I can make the argument that Mario Kart World's attach rate is ridiculous right now.
Oh shit! Because everybody bought the bundle, but
only 75% of people bought the bundle.
Wow. But yeah, whatever. Do I care that much? No. But my pick is Donkey Kong Bonanza. But that's when I had the most fun playing with a family member.
I'll give it to Mario Kart World, just for the multiple people that can be included.
This category pisses me off the most. It should be split. It should be split in half.
Yeah.
Sim and strategy games at this point in time do completely different things.
Yeah, those are vastly.
I wonder if the reason they do it is they're worried on a year-to-year basis if there's enough to fill both categories.
Then it becomes the idea of should they then be categories? But also sim games are huge, are enormously popular. The problem is, are there new ones? That would be the problem.
How many new? Are you getting 5 to 6 new ones a year that
aren't in early access? Aren't like early access games. And strategy is like a little bit more niche, but it's still a healthy and thriving genre. I only played the Alters and FF Tactics, but the Alters is a special game. So that's
really like the Alters. I don't know. I don't have a dog in this fight. Did people like Civ 7? Or did they hate Civ 7?
I feel like it has some controversy.
People who play Civ games actually like the Civ games, or do they play it because they hate themselves?
I feel like it had some controversy.
Right? Didn't it? Okay. All right. I'll go with the Alters. I don't know. Like I said, there's no dog in this fight for me.
People thought Jurassic World Evolution was okay, I guess.
I was going to vote for that because dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinos. Fair. Build your own theme park. It's basically roller theme park tycoon, but with dinos.
Zoo tycoon.
But Alters. The Alters. I think the Alters has a strong chance of winning here. I think it has a very strong chance.
There was something about the guy who did the voice acting in the Alters, who plays like 12 different characters.
He should have been nominated. For best performance. Yeah, he was a snub for sure. It's just a real feat to imbue each of those characters with distinct personalities when they are the same guy. So best sports racing, EA Sports FC, F125, Mario Kart, Rematch, that's the slow clap, the seafood devs, and Sonic Racing.
Responses were mixed to Rematch.
But it's new. But it was new. It's unique.
I'm willing to give it that just because
the people.
It's interesting that you have that, but you don't get like the Tony Hawk remake or Skate or any of those in here.
The people who liked it really liked it. It has a pretty strong, decently strong player base still.
I mean, I'd rather give it to the Rematch than any of the other options here. That's for sure.
That was people a big thing for me. Is
EA Sports still like the fact that
I don't want to give it to that. I don't want to give it to
racing sim games. No thanks.
That's why it goes to Mario Kart World.
But we just gave Mario Kart World a vote, so Nintendo has enough goodies.
So Rematch.
Yeah,
no love for Sonic. No love for being able to race as Hatsune Miku. Best multiplayer. It's gonna be Arc Raiders. Peak could win.
I mean, Peak won at the Golden Joysticks.
Is that the one where you're like climbing?
You're a bunch of little gremlins climbing mountains with your friends.
You're basically a Boy Scout troop.
Streaming.
It was a co-developed. I forget what Landfall does, but Aggro Crab is the people who did Another Crab's Treasure, which was a great game. Really loved that. It was like a game jam game that they did together and then said, "Oh, this is actually really fun. Let's release it." It's like really enhanced by proximity chat, and so yeah, it was a very kind of viral. It falls into the category that people meanly consider friend slop games that are
Fair.
only good because of
fair.
like proximity chat that you're playing with friends and
With
having
friends,
like really
yeah.
stupid things. I know for us, obviously, I mean, Andrew and I played Split Fiction together, but obviously, you know, Night Rain was like our core group multiplayer experience of the year. Is that what we're voting?
I'm voting Night Rain here.
That's where I was voting.
Okay. I think I don't think it's
Arc
going to
Raiders
win.
wins. I think Battlefield 6 actually has a chance to sneak in there.
I think in terms of actual likelihood, I think it's Arc Raiders peak and then Battlefield. But yeah, let's go. Night Rain.
Was peak that much meta on like streaming services?
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Really big. Okay, this one upsets me.
This one's bad.
This one is just straight up bad this year.
Excuse me, chicken jockey?
I mean, I voted for Minecraft Movie just because it's fun. Just because it's fun to vote for that. It's adult. Like I'm giving the thumbs up to the Yowie.
Until Dawn
the
should
Yowie
be on
stands.
here.
But I'm giving this to the Yowie fans. You know, let's make Jack Black and Jason Momoa kiss each other in the sequel.
Yeah, Until Dawn doesn't belong up here. Until Dawn was bad.
Last of Season 2 was really bad.
Have you heard anything about the Splinter Cell?
No, I didn't even know that was out.
Me
I didn't
either.
even know that existed
Me either.
until this. Devil May Cry is really polarizing, largely because the guy who made it is a reactionary.
Oh yeah. All right, Minecraft Movie, easy. That's where I'm voting.
But also, like, even like divorced from the guy's politics, it's also like, yeah, the only thing that's good about this is the Limp Bizkit opening theme song.
Was Arcane Season 2 past the part of last year's nominations?
It won for the Golden Joystick, but it was nominated last year.
I think it released in a weird. I don't know if it was nominated because of the weird time release look.
I'm pretty sure it was part of it last year. I think so.
Had to been.
So Minecraft
If that
Movie
wasn't part of last year and it's not nominated this year, that's a...
Well, I think it falls into that weird category, like I was saying, where things that release in like December of the year previous just always get forgotten.
It's
And
why it's
Arcane Season
surprising
2 was,
that
like,
Indiana Jones got
mid-November.
what it did as a December release from last year.
Yeah, it got one nomination.
No, it got a couple. I got a couple.
But that also got released on, the console of consequence in May.
Yeah, that's true. That did bring it back into the conversation. It got its DLC.
Or
So
April.
yeah, you're right. Okay, most anticipated game. From this list, there are
One of those
a couple
games isn't
interesting
coming
picks,
out
but
next year.
I don't think that this is actually. I think the only one that's coming out. I think that because again, don't trust GTA until it's actually in your hands. I think First Light is slated for next year, and Resident Evil. Those two I think are slated.
I thought those are pretty early next year.
Yeah, these. I forget it. This has
First
a date, I'm
Light's
pretty
in
sure.
March.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Witcher that's a glimmer in your eye type of thing. But yeah,
Wolverine
that's
stall.
But here's the thing: it's like this doesn't actually say that this has to be coming out next year. That's a kind of a misinterpretation of
So
what
Grand
this
Theft Auto
category
6
is.
was absolutely nominated for this last year.
Yeah, and I
And
will
year
not vote for
before-
it. In terms of games that I'm actually interested in playing, it goes Witcher, First Light, Wolverine. Will not be playing. Will play, but don't care.
First Light's probably my top one, just because that's the most recent, most in my face.
Matt, what about you?
I'd probably go Wolverine because that's the one that speaks to me the most on this.
Yeah.
I'm
let's
never going to play GTA.
Let's roll the dice. Let's roll the dice to see what wins.
Really,
Witcher.
you're not going to play GTA?
No, he never does.
I get too much
All right,
enjoyment out of not playing the thing that 100 million people will be
That's
playing.
a one. That's a one.
That's Wolfie.
So
That's fine with
Wolfie
that.
gets it. Okay, I think that's it for because these don't open yet. So let's. How do I download?
Player's voice. I'm going to make a wild statement here that it's going to be Chang, Fallen Feathers.
It's like that really got soured because of.
Yes, but they fixed it. They made the Han movement good.
No, I'm saying that's actually what soured it. So we got Claire Obscure for Game of the Year. A pretty wide selection of things. We only voted for Claire for Game of the Year and Jennifer English. Those are the only two that came
As
from.
it should be.
That came from this. I know mine was a lot more singular, but I appreciate the diversity here.
Spreading it out.
I do. I think that's good. Although again, I do not. I hate that these categories are even there.
Very silly.
All right. Final thoughts. Any other final snubs that...
I'll let you finish, but Iron Mouse should have been Content Creator of the Year.
I mean, she dominated at the Stream Awards, didn't she? As usual. I do see her clips from time to time, and she is funny. She does have a good personality. All right, folks. I think that's going to do it for us today. Essentially, was even a long version of a podcast, basically. So this will be fun for me to edit. Yay! I'll at least be able to cut some stuff out. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting.
Yeah, he's going to go back there and he's going to redo the vote once we log out, and then cut all of our dissenting
It's going to be a 20-minute clip of it being like, Clear Obscure wins again.
It'll be fun to see how we can like compare, like do like your own independent picks and our group picks and compare them to what actually wins. See if democracy truly is an effective strategy, or if authoritarianism wins again, and the Iron Fist will come down and make the decisions for you. Because folks, Claire's, can you all say "lay sweep" for me real quick? Just let me hear it. Just let me hear it once.
Not if my Saudi bot network has anything to say about it.
You know, the Saudis have nothing against the Bangladeshi farms. You know, come on. You know, we're talking about the newcomers to the old school
Bangladeshi farms.
That's right.
Yeah, but why
move away
numbers,
from the goats?
I have money, and I could just pay Jeff Keighley.
That's true. He is a man whore to be bought and paid for. Absolutely. That is true. We love you, Jeff. Smooches. Folks, we will be back after Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to you all. We'll be back with a news episode rounding up everything that happened in the month of November. And I think that'll do it for this month. And we'll have some interesting content shakeups for a short month in December for the rest of the holidays. So in the meantime, make sure to follow on all the social medias. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.